Gaia is open source developer framework, 3 lines of code. We make it super simple, quick, and cheap to deploy an agent. Grown very quickly, over 700,000 nodes globally to date. Some of our pilots include Berkeley, Qualcomm, NASA, Fitch Ratings, TikTok Shop, data clients, financial institutions.
This material is for informational purposes only and is not intended to provide accounting, legal, or tax advice, or investment recommendations, or an official statement of Presto or its affiliates.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Presto Research Podcast. I'm Min, and since Peter's out on a holiday, I'm joined today by my colleague, Thomas. And today, we are very excited to bring a special guest to the show, Shashank, co-founder of Gaia. How are you doing today, Shashank?
Good to be here, man. I'm doing well.
All right. I guess let's kick things off with your story. I guess can you briefly just tell us how you first got into crypto and what ultimately inspired you to build Gaia?
Yeah, sure. Crypto is a bit unique. I got in 2014, 2016 time. It was from a previous company. I was doing like an AI data company I helped found. And my board got me into it. We started going to a lot of those early meetups, started attaching the data we had on users to loyalty programs for a lot of blue chip clients. And so during the ICO days, I got in. But then after I exited the last company, I needed a break. Needed a break from crypto, and then my co-founder now, Matt, got me back into crypto through our Web3 because of DeFi and DAOs. And we were originally going to do a venture fund. My other firm, I helped found Next Wave Partners. We do corporate-backed thematic venture funds. So as part of that, we a food and ag fund. We have with Chipotle. We have a space fund. We have a logistics fund. So as part of that, we were going to do a Web3 AI fund that sits underneath that entity. And we got anchored by SIG Capital, Susquehanna's Web3 arm called ByteTrade. And a few weeks later, they turned around and said, actually, do you want to co-found a company with us? So that's kind of how we got involved. SIG and ByteTrade had been funding a lot of research at different universities, Berkeley, UT, and a few others. And essentially, they had a bunch of portcos and related technology. And so we looked under the hood. We liked what we saw. We brought together some of these disparate research and portcos, and we merged it all for one tech stack. And we helped develop a go-to-market, and that's how Gaia was born.
So I guess Gaia itself seems to be somewhat technical project. So I guess for the first time hearing about Gaia and for non-crypto people, how would you explain what Gaia is?
Sure. So Gaia is open source developer framework. It's 3 lines of code, helps you set up your agent node. We're like the Stripe for setting up AI agents. We make it super simple, quick, and cheap to deploy an agent. The secret sauce there is the Wasm Edge runtime. Basically, it's we co-maintain that with the Linux Foundation. It allows you to deploy any open source LLM you want, and work with any run it off any hardware you want. So essentially, you can run it off an 8 gigabyte CPU all the way to NVIDIA or BitTensor or AWS. It just works. So I think that gives us the ability to make it easy for people to set up and deploy agents, whatever hardware they're running, and try out different open source LLMs. And then if you want to share or monetize those agents, we make it easy to essentially create an API endpoint to that agent and do the inference of that agent on chain. We allow for the attribution, validation, and monetization of inference on chain because we're an inference network. And we do that through a domain node architecture. So, for example, University of Berkeley has its own domain. It acts as a TCP/IP router to route your any request to the right mix of nodes underneath it. So if you have a chemistry question, it gets routed to the chemistry professor's agent node. and any additional compute is bolstered internal or external to that domain. So we make it cheap and easy to, out of the box, deploy an agent, share, monetize, and validate it, and hopefully get paid for it.
That's great. So I looked through your light paper and it seems very interesting. You guys have this tagline called the YouTube for knowledge and skills. Can you tell me about how you came across this idea and some examples of successes on your platform?
Sure. Ideas, behind Gaia overall is just exactly, you're the YouTube for knowledge. We are allowing proprietary knowledge sets of humanity to easily be shared and monetized in a censorship resistant, decentralized manner. What that means is, OpenAI was the first to kick off the generative learning race. We're grateful to them. I use ChatGPT all the time still. However, most of humanity's proprietary knowledge is still under lock and key. It's not in OpenAI's LLM or any of centralized LLMs. It's too valuable. So that's your institutions, your governments, your individuals, enterprises. Their knowledge is their whole business, right? So they cannot afford to share it and have some other company monetize based on it. So in order to unlock those knowledge sets, our thesis is you need open source, which we are, and you need Web3, which we utilize to ensure that there's no monopolist like Google or OpenAI sitting between your knowledge and the end consumer of that knowledge. All right. So that's why, we've, grown very quickly. We're at over 700,000 nodes globally to date in a year of operation. And some of our pilots include Berkeley, Qualcomm, NASA, Fitch Ratings, LA Fashion Week. We're working with TikTok Shop and a few others on IP, right? So we have a lot of media clients. We have a lot of data clients, financial institutions, SIG Capital itself, for example. The YouTube for knowledge moniker is very poignant because we're at a time where people just saw last few months the Studio Ghibli trend, where OpenAI just straight up allowed anyone to copy Studio Ghibli and their historic art style. No payment, no accreditation. And they took that strategic bet. I would assume that, because they're not American, they're not going to get sued as quickly. And by that time, they'll make their money. But, it infuriates a lot of creators out there. But what's even more value lost is, the proprietary knowledge is out there now. They've open sourced it without even asking permission. So we think it's an incredible moment in history where people start to recognize the value of their knowledge and they want to monetize it and at least own it and get attributed for it.
Yeah, and I also want to kind of talk about, I thought it was very interesting how you guys approach this problem of, I guess, solving the infrastructure problem. Because if you just imagine from Guy listening to your ideas, the question that comes to my mind is how can you possibly fund all the massive infrastructure that may be involved with everyone just spinning up their own AI service? But it looks like you guys have this thing where there's a node operator and also agent creators, and they kind of have a micro economy in between of their own. And that's how you guys solve this problem. Can you tell me more about this?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you said it exactly. We have different types of nodes on there. Some are agent nodes, like knowledge nodes. Some are compute nodes. There's a lot of DeepIn companies, DeepInX, Filecoin, IronNet, a few others that we're actually bringing customers to. Because we make it cheap and easy to create the agents, we can deliver those agents to the DeepIn providers as clients. So I think the key here is you mentioned infrastructure. Our thesis here is we're a last mover advantage company. We don't want to build something that is high capex, high opex, and is betting on the future of tech to pivot towards us. We think we'll lay the ground infrastructure, and that we know there is going to need to be serviced. If you think about OpenAI right now, I think of it as kind of the Yahoo.com in 1997. It does everything: sports, entertainment, news, finance, all in one website. But the rest of the internet needs to develop, and we think agents are that next stage of internet. It's the next website or the next app. Those are tools to interact with customers and build client bases and followers. That's what agents will become, we believe. Tools to build businesses and actually build real institutions around, rather than a chatbot that helps you cheat on your homework. So in order to service that future agentic economy, we've been building the infrastructure. That includes inference, that includes the framework, and it includes a whole host of services we've been building, from wallets, KYC, AML, bank accounts, legal. Agents will need all this infrastructure, and we've partnered with Web3 and Web2 companies like MoonPay, like Coinbase, like all the wallet providers, MetaMask, to actually allow that to happen, and then the deep providers and others give the compute to that agentic economy.
Yeah, and also I think it'd be great to highlight one of your unique concept called Gaia Domain, which at first I thought it was something like ENS, but it's actually a different thing, and it actually ties very closely into your infrastructure play. Can you tell me more about this?
Yeah, so we're actually partnered with ENS on this, but and we're in the process of filing with ICANN. But essentially, the domain is a chance to own the directory to your future agent. Essentially, it's your parking your spot for what you want your agents to be. If you create an agent, you want to share it. We make it easy to point people towards it. You can access your domains via, Web2 Rails, right? Your Chrome browser. So you can create an API endpoint. If you create a knowledge agent, like if you're a professor with a chemistry professor, let's say, and you want people to pay you to use your knowledge, you have your API endpoint. That's your domain, right? And an app builder or a developer can point towards multiple domains to feed their algo and then sell their services, right? So their domains are a very important piece of our ecosystem. We've already done over $800,000 in sales of the domain side and growing very quickly. But yeah, we encourage everyone to, go claim their own domain before it's all gone.
Yeah, and also kind of want to touch upon the, given that this is a marketplace model, always the challenge that's involved with bootstrapping this type of product is that it's hard to find both the supply side and demand side. And given your experience in, startups before, how do you guys approach this problem? How do you kickstart this service?
Yeah, very good question. It's always B2B, B2C. There's a few different supply and demands we need to address. One is providing proprietary knowledge IP, which becomes a moat around our ecosystem. We've been doing that one by one, and it's turned into a snowball effect. Like I said, 700,000 nodes. Quite a bit of those are proprietary knowledge holders. And then once you have that knowledge, they need compute. They need to be able to sell that thing. You need customers. So it is definitely a chicken or egg issue. And the way we've solved it is, developer first marketing. We want the devs building on us first. So a lot of the 700,000 nodes are more than 50% of our unique users, which means that, developers are the ones who deployed them. So we need people building on us. And then once they're building on us, the people can add knowledge there. People can access their knowledge, and then we need customers too, right? So the flywheel is starting to take off, but it certainly was, kind of one and then two and then three, kind of knocking on window doors to get it going. But I will say, well, by the way, after our network is deployed, the DAO and the ecosystem will offer financial rewards, financial incentives. Depending on what the demand of the day is, it'll shift.
I guess turning a bit on the general, market and AI side of the crypto, I guess like last year, November, December, and like about this year, January, like AI crypto was like a hot topic. I mean, even today is hot topic, but especially like AI agents were also hot, right? Yeah. But it turns out to be like most of them were like rap chat GPT kind of stuff. So I was kind of curious to hear your thoughts on where does AI crypto currently stands and what it will be like the ultimate goal, I guess, or ultimate vision that you're dreaming.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is stagnant. That AI meme coin craze of winter. I wouldn't knock on it too much. First and foremost, last summer at exactly this time, we were going out into the world talking about our company. No one knew what an agent even was. They thought we were a Deepin project, which we're not. We work with Deepin, but that no one knows what an agent is. So it's education, right? So part of our job has been educating about the wheel while inventing the wheel. I actually credit the AI meme agent meme coin boom of the winter for normalizing the nomenclature of agents and the agentic economy, at least to the Web3 world. I like that we're talking about it. The failure or the stagnation shouldn't be a knock on the technology itself, because as you know, AI is here to stay. It will be here to stay in 10 years from now, 20 years from now. I think the next step is expanding on that. An agent meme coin didn't have enough purpose, right? These frameworks are just like I said about LLMs, which are kind of we believe that LLMs themselves are a zero-sum game, race to the bottom with DeepSeeks of the world, creating cheaper and cheaper open source models. Same thing on the other side, the agentic framework model. They're also a bit of the race to the bottom because a lot of them did not provide very useful tasks. It's very easy to replicate an agent framework. They're built for the meme. Let's be very honest, right? I don't knock them. They created successful businesses. They created successful communities. They should build on top of it, and they have a lot of scope. And we work with a lot of those projects. Like Schizo was built on Gaia. That was another agent framework, right? We think they'll continue to evolve, and we're here to support the evolution of these agent frameworks. But there'll be Web 2 and Web 3 providers here. I think Web 3, though, should keep their focus very squarely on how do we expand AI to and decentralized AI specifically to become a mainstream product. It's imperative both for Web 3 and Web 2 that AI is not monopolized by NVIDIA and OpenAI. We absolutely need it. It's a cornerstone of humanity that there's an alternative path, a less controlled, a less censored path. And so we think this adoption point is the next big adoption point of Web3. Besides financial assets, Web3 has never been able to confidently answer back why blockchain? Why not just do it on Web2 rails? I personally would never defend 99% of other Web3 infrastructure. But I think with AI, we're at a turning point here where AI needs Web3 and Web3 needs AI. And I think the next big boom where Bitcoin could even hit 1 million if there's true adoption on that side.
Do you have a specific, I guess, sector or parts that AI agents that you're specifically bullish on? Like, like those these days there are like AI agents that does like ill farming for you, others and stuff. But I mean, there are different types of AI agents. So just want to hear your thoughts on.
Yeah, I mean, I think look, there's going to be 1 million use cases that I haven't even thought of. Where we're encouraging builders, even like D2C sellers, Shopify owners, even if you want to just sell a t-shirt, it's going to be done much cooler and way better and efficiently with just an agent rather than a website. But sectors that I love personally, I've been going around telling people to build financial trading agents. They're going to be better than your financial advisor. I think I can guarantee it. We have the technology right now to create an agent that goes and reads every financial textbook in the world, reads Warren Buffett's books, it reads Steve Jobs' biography. I actually have a Steve Jobs agent myself that advises me. That master finance agent can then create sub agents that go follow crypto Twitter, that go follow commodities, that go follow equities, and then you can tell your main agent to go trade a semi-conservative portfolio, right? That is incredibly useful. It'll probably be more useful than the financial advisor you're using. You can even turn that into a business. If your agent that you train does well, you can get your family, your friends, your community, and then start marketing to your immediate vicinity to create a very nice multi-million-dollar small medium enterprise. That's the future of it, the agentic economy in general. It's to displace large multinational institutions and be able to perform their same actions pretty much all on your own, or if not, with only a handful of actual employees. So that's the kind of future we're talking about. I'm bullish on finance. I'm bullish on anything data analytics. Very bullish on IP. We're working with a host of, I mentioned the Ghibli trend, but very bullish on the future of the creative economy going through agents that talk to each other, that get paid based on the knowledge and IP created by individuals. So these are a few of the use cases I love myself.
Just a random question, but how hard it is to run a node at Gaia?
Super simple. I found the very base scale, it takes you 2-3 minutes to set up. Every agent is its own node. Your node doesn't have to be public. It could be run off your computer on-prem, right? But we are also working on some no-code or low-code solutions that are launching soon. Those are, we want basically like TikTok creators and Shopify stores to easily spin up a agent node and run them, and then the deeper providers and them can supply the compute needed, and others can stake to validate those, right? So we want to make it easy, or we want to bring a whole new set of customers outside of just Web3.
Mm-hmm. So you don't need to have like a NVIDIA GPU card or something, because people think that the inference costs a lot to run.
No, there's videos out there. We last year's in 2024 consensus Austin, we had the NASA team and the Berkeley team come by. They ran a Mars rover, a miniaturized Mars rover, on a Gaia node on just a normal computer laptop, and there was it started from scratch, and the rover learned everything just off of the CPU of the computer, and then explored the consensus floor, right? So we're going to be releasing some other hardware and other kind of activations that prove how low weight we really are. But yeah, with us, it's pick your own journey. Choose your journey. We're working with a few UN agencies and governments to show that you don't need an NVIDIA chip. Using the OpenAI and NVIDIA GPUs through the cloud is like running a jet engine to go around the block, right? It's just overkill. Our whole point is everyone can create their own AI. And if you want a full university's worth of knowledge and teaching on-prem on a computer without perpetual licensing in an African village, that can be made to happen on a Gaia node very quickly and cheaply, right? So we want to give optionality, and that's kind of our core tenets. We're not allowed to say anything about the changes or anything right now, but future distribution plans. I mean, look, we're launching a pretty big partnership, 2 large partnership at KBW, and one hardware phone provider, and one major L1. But you'll see, look out for that. Later in the year, we're going to be announcing some of our IP partnerships with the likes of Universal Pictures and some of the other kind of IP studios that I mentioned. And yeah, I think we're just chugging along on trying to get large enterprises and other IPs onto our network as kind of a moat.
What's your target on Bitcoin this year? Price target.
A Bitcoin price.
Yeah.
Oof, interesting question. Well, it's a 112 now. I think it could get to, I think with, if there's some rate cuts coming, I think you can get 130.
130.
Yeah.
I mean, we put 210K targets. So it's much more reasonable.
I can say 150. I can say 210. Wow. We'll see. It's been on a tear.
Mhm.
You'd never say no, but I also remember I'm keenly aware I used to be friends with John McAfee, who said he would eat his own dick if he went to in 2016 or 2017, whatever though. So I don't want to McAfee myself. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. That 210 is a great figure. Is that a Presser figure or is that you guys personally?
Yeah, it's Presser Research target.
Oh wow,
Okay.
I love that. I should buy more Bitcoin. Well, the thing that's great is like any consumer could participate in that. Like you haven't missed the boat at all. Yeah,
More way to go.
yeah. I mean, there's the difference between buying it 110 and it going to 200, and buying it 10,000 and going to 100 is the same. It's the same alpha.
I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining, Shashank, and thank you everyone for listening. See you all next week.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having me.